my strategy session cheat sheet. So this is really how simple the whole thing is. The methodology behind it is incredibly simple to understand. I've summarized it all in one sheet. There's a zero friction sales framework, the exact method that allowed me to close 40 to 50% sales and come on top of the leaderboards, and also over $1 million worth of coaching products. So that's all summarized, really following this simple philosophy methodology that I'm sharing with you. There's two parts to it. There's the intention behind it, which I've touched on before, but just to recap, your intention is not to close a sale. Your intention is to find out if you can help them. First of all, if you can help them. Second, are they willing to be helped? Yeah. So this is gonna totally again make you detach from that stress around bringing this to a sale or close. You want to see if the sale exists to begin with. Well, you want to find out if the sale exists to begin with. Can you really help this person? That's all I want to know. If I enroll somebody into my coaching program, I want to work with top quality clients whom I'm sure I can deliver good results for and I'm going to enjoy working with. So that's what I want to find out. Can I really help this person? And the second part, which is very important, this is the part most people miss, because most people then, once they see, oh, this is a great fit, I can really help this person, I can see they need my help, then they get overexcited. Oh, it's obvious they should sign up, right? But that's not the case. That's where most people go wrong, because the second thing to ensure is, so are they willing to be helped? Yeah, what that means, what I have here, my program might be a great fit for them, but do they have a big enough problem, big enough desire? Do they have that urgency? Because without it, they're not going to invest time and money in a high ticket program, 2K, 3K, 5K, whatever it is. Yeah, they might have lots of wishful thinkings, but that's not enough. Lots of dreams. People take action only when the desire is big enough, the problem is big enough, and there's some kind of urgency that they need to take action now. So that's what we want to dive into and clarify very clearly here before we go anywhere to even making an offer or mention the price or whatever. Now, you don't have to hide the price. You can mention the price in the start if you want. That's no problem. And with authentic selling and selling to a really sophisticated market these days, it's not necessary, but people do different ways. But normally I like to keep it to the end so they can see the value, and if they're a good fit, then I position the price. So prospects make the buying decision. Here you go. Prospects make the buying decision. Yeah. All you do, you help them get clarity on how wide the gap is and how your solution will bridge that gap. So you must have their best interest in mind. This is key. Again, goes back to this is all about them, understanding their needs and matching the right solution to that need. So to do that, this diagram is gold. It's the only thing I had in front of me when I go into calls, just to remind me of my process and what I want to cover on the call without having any script. Yeah, so all you do on a good strategy call or a free consultation is to get a good understanding where they currently are, this current situation, where are they stuck, where they want to get to, this desired outcome, and how big is this gap, where is the gap here. If this gap is not big enough, then they're not going to invest into coaching program. Yeah, they might feel like they want to get in some information, they can do it on their own. But if this gap is big enough and the obstacles on the way is something they cannot solve their own, that's when they need coaching. Yeah, so that's what you want to really find out, to do a good discovery and ask the right questions to find that out. Because if you do that, then you know exactly if this person is ready for your program or not. Okay, so and this is a really important part, is also the attitude. So really your intention and attitude will very much determine the energy you go into the call. And energy is everything. People will feel your vibe, whether it's on a Zoom call or even on in a phone call, audio only. They still, from your tonality, will quickly get your vibe. You know, how confident you come across, how relaxed you are about everything as well. That all comes across. So when you have the right intention and right attitude, that's all going to govern your energy and the state you're on. Because those first few seconds, people subconsciously already have made some kind of decision. You know, they formed an opinion about you, if they like and trust you, basically. Okay, selling is all about know, like, and trust. Yeah, the main thing with doing that, you want to maintain that rapport by coming from this intention and this attitude. So never justify or convince. Anything you start justifying and convincing, again, sales resistance is going to go up. They're going to see you just as another salesperson trying to get a deal and make some more money for yourself. But instead, you want to have them convince you that they are ready to commit. So that's where we get this commitment. Are they ready for this? So how you do that is this. I've also put this: people will buy when the gap is big enough and they cannot get to the desired outcome on their own. Yeah, so once you understand this and fully embody what I'm sharing with you here, then you never get to the end of a call and wonder why they didn't sign up, even if they said the right things and look like a good fit. Why didn't they sign up? Why did they say, I'm going to think about it, disappeared and never showed up again? All that stuff, you're never going to wonder why that happens if you do this discovery phase right, by digging into these decision factors. Yeah, by getting and understanding this exactly where they are, where they want to get to, and what are the obstacles on the way, how big that gap is. That's going to give you good clarity. Now, this is I'm giving you, again, from like thousands of calls, I'm giving you the best questions to ask on a discovery call. Yeah, the simplest, best questions that always works, tried and tested on hundreds of calls and taught by best sales coaches out there. I've summarized it in a very simple 5 steps. Yeah, these are the 5 decision factors, 5 beliefs that people have when they make a buying decision. So of course the biggest one is that there needs to be a big enough problem. So the problem is where they are, the current situation. You ask these questions. What is the biggest challenge you are facing right now? Very simple. What's the biggest challenge you are facing right now? And then you ask probing questions by going into, you mentioned this, tell me more about that. How long has that been going on? How has that impacted you? This is again where 90% of people fail to dig deeper, because that first answer you get might be just surface level, but we want to dig deeper to the real root cause of the problem. That shows that you are an expert. That's how an expert, a leader, shows up. Yeah, by really doing proper diagnosis. So this is how you do that. Very simple. Of course, I have a full training with many other questions you can ask here and different ways of doing that, but I'm giving you the very, very high level summary here. Something you can take away, try tomorrow or today on your call and see if you just use this, it's gonna, if you're not using it already, it's gonna make a big difference. So this digging deeper, you just say, you mentioned this, you pick up something important that you feel based on listening carefully. So here is 80% listening, 20% talking when you're doing the discovery part before pitching or presenting. And that's where your 80% listening, your active listening skill is going to be key here. I have full training around that as well. So this is where you need to pick up those important clues, the hot points, the things that are really important for them, the biggest problems, and then ask probing questions to dig deeper, to get to the root cause of the problem. That's when the prospect will have those aha moments, and that's when they will thank you. because you help them identify the root cause of the problem, why they're stuck where they are, what's holding them from reaching their desires, the dreamland. So that's that. This is the biggest important thing. This other decision factor is there a big enough desire? So how do we find that out? By quite simply asking, where do you want to get to? What's your goal? What's your aspiration? Is that desired outcome? Where do you want to get to? Very simply, you can ask that by asking this question, where do you want to get to? And then you ask again, is the second questions, the clarifying questions, that is key here. Yeah, that's the more important one. Why is that actually important to you? You want to understand the why behind their desire, their vision, their goals. Once you understand the why, and if they have a big enough why, you can rest assured they will move forward. Of course, as long as they can see that you have the right solution for them. So that comes in the presentation phase. I'm not covering that presentation and pitching part and the closing part in this short training, but I'm covering the most important part of a discovery call, which is the discovery itself of a strategy session or a sales consultation. The discovery part, information gathering, is the most important part. 80% of your sales will rely on that. Yeah, when people come to me, hey, look at my sales call, I said something wrong at the end, maybe I lost the sale, but that's not where 90% of the time it's not the end that's the problem. It's the beginning of the call during the discovery phase when they ask the questions. If you do a good job here, the person very likely will sign up with you, and you don't need to explain a lot of details of your program. So big enough desire, where do you want to go? Next one, this is where, these two are the most important part. If you're doing 30 minutes discovery, information gathering, understanding their needs, you should spend 20 minutes here, 25 minutes here, and maybe 5 minutes then just quickly checking in with them, understand urgency, that now is the time for change. The best question, simplest question to ask there is, why do you feel now is the right time to do this? What's changed that made now a priority, that made this more of a priority for you right now? Then fourth one is consequence or cost of not taking action. If that's high enough, then you have somebody who's obviously has that urgency to make a decision. So you ask, quite simply, you can ask what will happen if nothing changes and you stay where you are. Another really good question to ask, how much longer can this continue like this? How much longer can you continue like this? Yeah. And if this kind of questions, if they get a bit sensitive, you can quite simply ask them in a way that with your tonality, you say, hey, can I ask you an honest question? Do you mind me if I ask you a personal question? Get the permission, make sure they're comfortable with that. And then you say, how long can you continue like this? It sounds like obviously this has been going on for a long time. You slow down a bit. It comes from a place of care. I don't do this again to make sure I get it closed. I do this because I want to get to the truth. I want to make sure they can face the truth, and I hold them accountable to their highest purpose. Okay, and the fifth one is doubt question. They can't do it on their own. So that's another decision factor that people make sure when people are ready is when they cannot do it on their own. This is where if you feel that they are pretty advanced and they might not need your help, they may be too advanced for you, you quite simply, instead of trying to convince them or sell them, you ask them, look, you seem to know a lot. Why not do this on your own? Very simple. So if you do a great job here, then normally, like I said, these are the main decision factors. If there's a big enough problem, big enough desire, there's urgency, the consequence of not taking action is high, and they really cannot do it on their own, then you have for sure a client who's gonna find the time, find the money, and sign up with your program, and even they're gonna convince their partner. So these objections, which are the biggest objections, they come normally when the desire is not high enough, the need is not big enough, or they might not really have the money. Then You can help them with payment plans or things like that. So that's it. I think I'm nearing the 30 minutes. I'm on the 30-minute mark. I want to keep it to 30 minutes. It's a very quick run through. Like this is then, of course, devil is in the detail, how you do all this. That's where in my mentorship program, we go a lot deeper. I have a full training around doing these strategy sessions. And we go into a lot deeper into how you do all these parts correctly. I share my own calls, how I close 10K offers in one call, break it down, and also I do call reviews and things like that. So that's really effective. When you apply this already, the things I've shared with you, if you go away and apply a few things from here, that's going to change your conversion rates. But if you feel you need more help and coaching, you want your calls to be reviewed, again, that's the shift there, and the impact can be very quick in terms of with the same amount of leads and same amount of kind of effort, really with a higher conversion, you can earn a lot more money and sign up better clients. So if you need any further help, make sure you message me and I can share more about that. Also, if you want this sheet, this cheat sheet is a very important one to have in front of you. This can help you really comfortably double your conversion and close consistently if you always remind yourself of these key principles. So if you want this, DM me and I send you this Google Doc. Okay, thank you again. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. I hope you found it valuable, and my wish for you is to take away the learnings, implement, and get better results. See you soon.